The amazing digital circus will officially end June 19, 2026. Well, technically ends June 4th in theaters, but we'll get into that. After nearly 3 years of the series releasing on YouTube and Netflix respectively, a collection of fans have made the experience worse for everyone involved, especially the creator of the show, Gooseworks. Hello, I'm Dovin, it's my friend Samantha, and we're going to look into what it means to be a large creator in the indie animation space. Also, yes, Glitch Productions is still indie, but that'll have to be for another video.
And please, do not attack anyone mentioned in this video. If you have something to say, please keep it in this comment section.
Yes, just keep it down there, please.
Before we start, is this one of those videos where the creator didn't do anything bad? Like people were just grasping at straws?
Yeah, it's one of those videos.
Alright, I'm ready for the dumb comments.
Now, I already made a video prior to this one regarding Gooseworks and her fans, but that mainly focused on the relationship of critiquing and how the creator involved themselves in that. This is rather how the fans treat the creator and their works.
I actually wasn't there for that video, so I guess I'll have to watch it after this one.
May 19, 2026, episode 9 will leak onto Twitter. This had never happened before, because every other episode was only set to release on YouTube.
Well, how did that happen then? A disgruntled worker?
Well, no. Glitch wanted a theatrical release in order to get some extra revenue before the series is over. They did have fears regarding distribution somehow leaking, such as South Korea needing a physical copy to send for approval, though they signed a contract, so they'll have to figure that out amongst themselves. For frame of reference, the entire upcoming Avatar movie had been leaked in April 2026, so it's not as if even large corporations are safe from leaks.
Oh yeah, I saw that at a hair salon while getting my hair cut. Thought I just missed that episode.
And the last episode would somehow leak via a Brazilian distributor for their country, which made its way on Twitter. Gooseworks would respond on Blue Sky regarding how they feel about the last episode leaking, for saying, who cares, then later clarifying what she meant.
I kinda just wanted to make a cartoon, and it's ended up being way more trouble than it's worth. I really just can't keep my heart in this anymore. It's gotten too much bigger than me, and I probably shouldn't be the figurehead of it.
To bring up some numbers, nearly every episode Digital Circus has over 100 million views.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, but it was just like episode 7 at 83 million and episode 3 at 98 million.
Damn, that's some big numbers right there.
So with that, there's a lot of pressure on the creator to not only make a good ending, but also deal with part of a rabid fan base that doesn't even want you to succeed. Gooseworks have been finishing up the finale, personally doing some color grading herself and hoping people would understand what she's going for with the show. So to see people not only leak the thing, but constantly share the ending on Twitter, complaining about how much it supposedly sucks and the fallout is outright deserved, is very sad.
I mean, people can just make up the fact they saw it and make fun of it, but I'm sure no one would do that.
What is interesting is that there's a subsection of the fan base that have been going through her older tweets to try and cancel her in some way. Or, at the very least, that's what it feels like. Such as Twitter user The Rosetta Sun, who tweeted,
Hey, so, Gooseworks actually hates women.
And in the tweets, she shares some joke tweets Gooseworks made from up to 8 years ago, such as,
Having female characters was a mistake.
and,
What I'm saying is, I love violence against women. I can't help it.
luckily though, there is a community note stating these are satirical posts.
God forbid a woman joke about women.
The other 2 tweets have Gooseworks saying, My ultimate evil ploy to evolve past the need for female characters is moving along excellently. Ha 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 ha. And having female characters is a ploy to get higher viewership. If I can have it my way, I'd make nothing. A lot of people would quote tweet this post, including Super E4. They would joke about how the voice actors and animators are going to get murdered when Digital Circus is over because Gooseworks tweeted about it. Insane Redacted would say it best regarding the use of tone indicators, as some people really need it. 2 more quote tweets include one from voice actress and streamer Loaf Lovett, saying, Every criticism of Gooseworks can be summed up with one image. It's the one about kids getting locked in a burning car with someone saying, That's not funny at all. And one tweet from Artist Synapse saying, I love how these performative fake woke MFs have horseshoe theory themselves into being transphobic. Due to the massive dogpiling that Rosetta would get, she would make a follow-up tweet clarifying,
I'm gonna specify, shouldn't have to, but when I say women, trans women are always included. This should be common sense. Trans women are women. Someone can be cis or trans and still say jokes that are unprofessional and offensive. Her tweets were unfunny and rude. That's it.
So she decided to double down by putting the word jokes in quotations, implying they aren't, and that Gooseworks tweets are just unfunny and rude.
Well, unfunny to her, as clearly a bunch of other people found Gooseworks funny.
To cap off this part, Rosetta would quote tweet the old Gooseworks post from 2018 that said, Having female characters was a mistake. Rosetta would quip, Mind you, Gooseworks is a woman. Having female characters representing women in media is never a mistake. Rosetta would give a response saying that Gooseworks is being sarcastic, to which Rosetta would retort,
Prove it. Prove that it's sarcasm. And even if it is, why is it something to joke about / be sarcastic about? It's not.
So that's an example of moving the goalpost. That first one needs to prove she was, and if she was, actually you can't joke about it because it's bad.
I mean, they could just take down the tweet and apologize. You don't lose much by saying, my bad, I was wrong.
I forgot to mention, this isn't like a small creator, as she has a channel of 56,000 subs, so her directly saying another creator hates women has more weight than a random account with little followers.
That's libel, not slander. Libel is spoken.
Apart from the supposed misogyny, people would also be declaring Gooseworks as racist. This mainly stemmed from a live stream that occurred several years ago, and Goose wasn't even in it. This clip was from a live stream several years ago, in which voice actor Michael Kovacs said the shortened form of the word negative a lot after reading the username that had in it. Him and his co-host Ashley Nicole poked fun at the absurdity of it, repeating the phrase throughout the live stream, and they would later apologize on Twitter when the clip resurfaced, regretting what they had done. One tweet by Stella Eclipse directly calls Gooseworks an anti-black racist that got 25,000 likes. Now, that would get a community note that there's no credible evidence she is one, and she explicitly called it racism in the fandom. Stella would proceed to pull up some evidence where she talked about edgy jokes of her friends and tweets. The tweets shown first have Goose saying that she finds the absurdity and stupidity of someone being racist is funny, not the racism itself, clarifying that it's around close friends that know she doesn't believe in that stuff. Followed up with the tweet saying, if she posted her really edgy draft tweets, then she would lose her professional positions. The last tweet has her making a poll asking if people make horrible edgy jokes in private, they would never say publicly, and that she doesn't deny making edgy jokes around close friends. That she understands why people don't like it, and won't make those jokes around people who are comfortable with them. And for some reason, Stella includes responses from someone literally named FartLover1000, who says they're unfollowing her because of this, and that they're disappointed in Gooseworks, asking if they should be worried because a lot of artists are being revealed to make very racist jokes behind the scenes. One tweet that was left out, however, was Gooseworks responding to FartLover1000 saying, I never said I made racist jokes, but do as you wish. Stella would get a reply saying, this is normal, and that would ratio the evidence tweet.
It really feels like people want her to be racist. Like, if they don't like the show, if she somehow happens to be racist, then that makes it okay to shit on her as much as people have already been doing.
And of course, some people would quote tweet the post I mentioned before, saying they haven't seen direct evidence of Gooseworks' supposed racism. April 26, 2026, Gooseworks would make a direct tweet about racism, saying,
I feel like I should say, if you think you're on my side by saying genuine racist, hateful things to black people in the fandom, then it is my personal belief that you should shoot yourself in the head with a gun.
This actually isn't the first time Gooseworks has denounced racism. Back in 2020, she made a tweet saying, I just think that if you value a human being's life less simply because of the color of their skin, you should probably be gagged with steel wool and hung up on a wall so people can throw darts at you. In 2016, she made a tweet saying, oh yeah, disclaimer, racism is terrible. And lastly, in 2015, she said, is it seriously hard to not be racist? So we either ignore these tweets or accept that she's just edgy sometimes.
Alright, so far then we have a subset of former fans that believe she hates women because of sarcastic tweets, and another subset that thinks she's racist because of edgy jokes she says privately to friends that we haven't seen.
Yeah, that's correct.
God, this sucks. Do these people, not have jobs or art or hobbies to work on?
Maybe this is a hobby of some sort to them. And what's interesting is that there might be a concentrated effort to turn people like Gooseworks into a Lolcow sort.
Can you refresh my memory about what a lolcow is? I go outside.
Well, the Urban Dictionary says, a person or group of people laughed at for actions that they take, despite not trying to be funny. They may try to take themselves seriously, but are often milked for laughs with or without their knowledge.
So, just bullying, but a group effort?
Yeah, basically that. This pattern had been noticed by several Twitter users, such as S3Talk41B4, who said,
If Gooseworks responds with a joke, she gets called unprofessional. If she responds seriously, she gets told she's doing damage control. If she says literally nothing, she gets pestered to respond. She can't win with y'all, so I don't know why anyone's shocked she's sick of it all.
HMorrisFact22384 commented,
The Lolcow production process is in full swing. We're at the everything they do is evil stage, trying to build up justification. Now, watch. Next up is trying to provoke meltdowns via doxing, targeted attacks, etc.
Lastly, Clockwork Stream noted,
Between Toby Fax and Gooseworks, not only are indie audiences increasingly more hostile over everything, but also there's a pervasive feeling of lolcow culture surrounding them, and I feel like it's turning a lot of aspiring indie creators away from creating.
I would say that the same people who are dogpiling Gooseworks for stuff she hadn't done, the same thing would happen to them eventually as well. The 8ball had tweeted about this, that a lot of people attacking them have aspiring animator, artist, and voice actor in their bios. Like, you're shitting in the same place you want to eat in.
I feel like people who want to work in this industry would want to use burner accounts instead of tying it to their main username, but what do I know?
I think Letting critique in any space is good and healthy. Doing moral purity tests at any given moments can and will backfire. I'm sure there are actual misogynistic and racist creators on these platforms, but because attacking Gooseworks gets numbers and is easier, that's what you see more often. I even seen people celebrating the idea of Gooseworks killing herself, such as Josiah Onkward has said.
Hey, let's not wish death on people. Just be like everyone else and celebrate when it happens.
There is a theory I'd seen crop up that if a larger creator has a downfall, that someone else can take their place so they can make a cartoon instead.
Which is definitely not how any of that works.
Yeah, all that is done is make everyone in the space miserable and no art or jobs being created. In fact, a lot of artists will look at what you say online when hiring and how you treat others in the same space. The person that said to celebrate when Gooseworks kills herself specifically says aspiring artist, editor, singer, voice actor, and gamer. Or even Rosetta is saying that she's a voice actor scriptwriter who loves indie animation.
Yes, we love indie animation, except if you did something bad once, or make sarcastic problematic tweets, or you didn't speak on an issue I care about, or you're friends with someone.
This breeds an awful anti-fandom in the fandom that enjoys finding awful things and to make fun of it. There's actually a great thread by Mini LQ that talks about their fears in creating an indie space. The original is in Spanish, but Samantha's gonna read the English translation.
My animated projects. Because yes, I already have quite a few in mind to start elevating my own animations and showcasing my creativity. But the recent absurd controversy with the creator Gooseworks and the indie producer Glitch have caused me to feel a slight fear. Exposing my ideas, taking into account that people are going to start complaining about anything you do. You say any random word, they associate it with you being racist. You want to do a self-insert to create the antagonist of your series? They brand you as abusive. That they leak the end of your series without your consent? It's your fault. You're selling merchandise to fund the series? What hyperconsumerism and emotional blackmail and all that stuff? Those people, sadly, are the most abundant ones on this disgusting site, even going so far as to incite just because they didn't like your work or because you're popular. It scares me because it means that if I create something straight from my imagination and pour all the heart and passion I felt into this art into it, people will come along to hate it simply for not living up to their fantasies or because of a tiny detail. People no longer know how to enjoy anything without ending up looking like hypocrites. And it's a sad situation because it's come to the point of wearing down a talented artist like Gooseworks and even hurting her by spitting on her greatest work. I still keep thinking that I can craft a good story in that, even if it's minimal, I'll have an audience that wants to embrace my creativity and enjoy it just as it is. But it's also sad to think that when I start out in this animated field, there will be people who want to criticize, making up fake problems or coming up with stupid excuses because that's all what these kinds of people are good for. Hating. Thanks for reading the thread. Sorry this time I got a bit more serious than usual, because the hate situation towards Glitch and its creators feels, to me, like one of the most unfair things in the scene.
If there is a fear to create in the indie space itself, then we as a community have failed in every sense of the word. This goes far beyond critique or disliking how showrunner is acting. It is, as they said, creating a fake problem to be mad at.
Yeah, when I was reading this stuff, I was expecting actual racism and misogyny, like stuff I would have to censor myself for saying, not edgy jokes from 8 years ago.
Discourse like this doesn't give a healthy environment for people to create, rather it just makes people feel ashamed that they even tried in the first place. I made quite a few videos in the past, heavily nitpicking for the sake of critiquing, and that never really helped the community. In fact, it hindered my own artistic journey. And it's sad to see others go down a similar path, that I see people stuck on social media arguing and attacking each other instead of just making their own works instead. That's why at the end of these videos, I tell you the audience to keep on drawing, because at the end of the day, you really should just be creating.
While it is important to call out and address actual bad behavior, if you lurk to harass endlessly and hope that there is something to condemn, you are no better.
At the start of this video, I talked about how Gooseworks is feeling about being the figurehead of a cartoon and what that means. Hope you now have a better understanding of what she's going through. It isn't just the act of actually creating a cartoon in of itself, but rather how people on the internet perceive you.
Or perhaps that's how they want to perceive you.
I know, there's a subset of people who hope that some artists are secretly awful, in order to have someone to attack, morally speaking.
That's weird, right? I mean, you can just dislike someone and not have a reason.
I think it's been a privilege that people even have the space to talk with large creators, as there was a time when a creator would make a show and all you had to go off of was TV interviews or even some special features on DVD. Do you remember DVDs? This might be a period of time when creators started to back off to have a more hands-off approach when interacting in their fandom or even posting as much. Personally, I've been doing way more art over on Blue Sky, and that's been healthier for me overall. I still use Twitter to promote videos for now, but it's sad to see this been a breeding ground for bad faith actors in the fandoms.
Yeah, I've also stopped posting on Twitter a while ago, and that's been better for my mental health. I prefer blue sky.
There isn't a good way to respond to a lot of these people, as a lot of them would rather move the goalposts or just want you to forever address things to further make fun of you. Sometimes the best thing to do is ignore or block them. But that's actually a story for another video actually, so I can't wait to talk about that. But let me get out of my head for a bit as I ask my audience for some responses. If the fanbase starts becoming awful, I think distancing yourself, leaving the fanbase, or even ending the project entirely can be justified. Weird example, but remember the sub to PewDiePie thing? But the artist isn't obligated to do any of those things. How fans engage with your art isn't your responsibility, and you can't control your fanbase, especially one as large as TADC. Edit. I'm not super familiar with the situation, but Gooseworks or anyone else is being harassed, they should leave. I would too. I swear this fiasco's TADC is seriously making me think about the fanbase I would have when I start making my indie series showcasing my OCs. I always thought Gooseworks and Visipop interacting with the fandom was pretty cool, since it made the community more connected, but after this shit, the bare minimum I would be doing is Q&As, some behind the scenes stuff, showcasing cool fan art, and doing some house rules so no weird shit would happen. All I ask for my fanbase would be respecting others, they can critique my work so it can be better, but it's a whole new beast when you start doxing me, start doing massive harassment campaigns, and just saying the most vile shit at me. I'm blocking. Honestly, I wouldn't want any creation of mine to generate a fandom, unless it's small. Fandoms almost always have a level of toxicity just due to how people can be, especially as they get larger. A huge fandom is always toxic to some extent, and I would not be able to handle that if everyone's eyes were on me in that kind of space. This is why I'm fine with being a small artist. I would rather have a small, respectful audience than a large one full of immature, entitled people. I guess some of this toxicity can be solved with the block button, but many people don't handle being blocked well and may block, evade, or even harass over it. But when it comes to having a large audience of, say, thousands, toxicity can easily become more impossible to deal with and control. Aside from Gooseworks, I would refer to Unknowingly, a creator man in the suit, as a primary example of how garnering a huge following turned fandom of your work can be awful, where the negativity completely overshadows the positivity, to the extent that the toxicity ends up causing legitimate, severe mental and emotional harm to the artist. I'll not blame any artist or person in general for leaving social media due to a toxic audience, especially if it's for the sake of their own well-being. I think this video gives a good showcase of how a creator can have good reasons to leave a fandom, or even a project in general, when it's all over.
Luckily for Goose, Digital Circus only has one season, so when this episode is out, it's done.
For Gooseworks, she couldn't have imagined that people would be this rude and controlling in a fandom. Nor could she have imagined people take tweets from nearly 10 years ago and acting like she was being super serious with them.
Yeah, I have a feeling if someone made a tweet or whatever years ago, they can change and grow as a person.
I think at the end of the day, you should be able to create your works without being pressured in all sorts of ways to make your own project. On top of that, I hope you can see how toxic a fan base can be in wanting and searching for things to complain about, in turn neglecting their own works, or hoping in some sense that taking down someone powerful would help their art in some way. Not only will it not, but the same thing can and will happen to them. Believe me, I know firsthand with a lot of my older videos.
Oh, don't worry, I believe you.
Just anything to take away from this video is that you can choose how you want to post online and how you want to interact with your fans. While there will be a subset of people who dislike and actively pray for your downfall, there's a larger part that supports you and wants the best for you and your mental health. I can only hope that after the Digital Circus finale airs on YouTube, Goose can take a nice long break from the internet before working on her next project. Godspeed, Goose. Godspeed. Speaking of fans, we actually got some lovely fan art. Take a look, Samantha. Fairy Lolcow on Blue Sky drew us. Wow, looks great.
Oh my goodness, the shading, the rendering in this one. I love how you guys always draw me with a beer. Means I don't have to pay for him.
Also, as a small thing, we had a great time at MomoCon 2026 this year, and we'll be making a vlog on my Patreon when I have some time.
Oh yeah, you guys don't want to miss this. MomoCon was the highlight of my year.
But until next time, I hope you have a great day, spend less time on social media, and keep on drawing.
Well, how did that happen then? A disgruntled— Fuck! You know what? I just gotta channel my inner dog. I just gotta— Alright, I'm fine now.
This house is haunted. It's so pathetic. It takes no sense at all.